Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown has been on my radar for the last few years. We recently got a showcase, bit of a cinematic trailer, followed by some gameplay with some content creators and devs, including Black Panther and Alex. And, well, right at the end they said it's coming in early 2024, meaning it's been delayed yet again. But I'm taking this in the positive note because I think this is actually a good thing for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, let's go back to the actual delays. First of all, we had a September date for last year, as far as I remember. I don't know if there was a delay before that. You'd have to remind me in the comments below. But it got delayed before that September date to late 2023. We then got a bunch of newsletters telling us a bit more about the game and a bit more communication, which I think was relatively well received before we had the showcase, which was very, very recent. And now they've said it's late 2024. So we should already be playing it, but we are not. So here is why I think it's actually a good thing. And it's all about timing. No matter what we saw during the showcase, yes, it was alpha. We don't know how old that alpha build is. It might be months old. Probably isn't the latest. Honestly, personally, from all the games I'm looking forward to, I made a video about it, I'm looking forward to five games this year. And that will just add a 6th game in there. So I'm personally glad, but don't worry, I have some logic behind my own personal opinion as well. Logistically, I think it's smart. Whether the game looks ready or it's not, let's ignore what we saw. Not that it was overly negative, but the community is hating it a lot recently. So I'm going to come back to that after I've explained all this. So, how many racing games are coming out this year or have come out? You know, we've got the F1 Manager, technically a strategy management game. It's not technically a racing game, but it is a racing game at the same time. It's not your typical racing game. We've had F1 23. We don't know about the new WRC game that could be coming out later this year. We don't know. There's the new Le Mans Ultimate game that's coming out later this year. We've got the Crew Motorfest in September. We've got Forza Motorsport in October. I think you can kind of tell where I'm going with this. If we slap in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown into all this, we're going to have too much choice. So that's why I think it's a good thing. Those racing game fans, enthusiasts like myself, we can play the Crew, we can play the Forza, maybe a couple of others if we're lucky, and by the time Solar Crown comes out, which by the way I'm going to estimate right here, right now, March 2024 is my estimation. Make your own guesses. But that's what I think. You know, we get to chill, we get to have a bit of Forza, a bit of Crew, and then we can have a bit of a gap from it. And then, you know, we can come back to it later. So I think it is good because we know of plenty of games not in the racing game genre that just don't do well because they've been slotted in between these other AAA games that come out or other games. So people have to choose. Is it this game or this game? Because some people just won't have the money all the time to play and buy both at the same time. So, smart move, I think, regardless if we consider if the game is actually ready. And that's why I think, personally, it's the right thing to do for a 2024 release. Yes, we've had a couple of delays. It should have come out last year, but the fact that I remember the video of them delaying it from September to late 2023 saying the game's not ready. How many developers admit to, yeah, game's not ready? I don't think a lot, particularly not recently. Everybody has so high expectations recently that devs just can't keep up, man. They can't. They can't get the game to be exactly right of our minds because I think we have too high expectations right now anyway. So I did want to briefly touch upon what we saw. We saw an alpha build. We don't know when this alpha build was. I mentioned this earlier, didn't I? When was this build made? We don't know. I do believe it's going to be an older build. And, you know, everybody comparing it to Forza and any other game that's finalized and looks very, very nice. You can't compare it. Not right now. If this game looked exactly the same, performed the same, because I could tell, I'm sure some others, there was some performance issues, which tends to happen from what I know near the end of the development cycle, because once you've got all the mechanics and things that you can do in the game, then it's time to optimize as probably one of the final things to do. So I think people are judging it too harshly right now. I'm in a split mind because I know there are some people hating on it, but there are some other people that are really hyped for it. I didn't have the hype that I have for these other 5 games I'm looking forward to this year, but I am hopeful that we are going to be getting a great open world racing game next year. But if it looks and feels exactly the same as what we got today, then maybe I'm going to ask some questions. But for now, I'm going to keep an open mind because I'm hoping we're going to be seeing some more gameplay over the next few months, and then we can kind of compare and say, actually, I think they've either done a good job or a bad job. Because regardless, I do think now putting that in perspective, now adding on and saying, okay, let's apply the gameplay to the logic of the topic of this video, which was the delay, you know, based on the alpha footage, yes, I do believe it's the good call as well. Based on what we saw, yeah, it needs some work. Definitely 100%. They can polish it even better. And the fact that they are willing to keep delaying this until they get it right, until they what they want, I think that is absolutely amazing. And that is my thoughts on why I think the delay is an absolute win for everybody. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Are you looking forward to it? Are you a little bit on the fence? Are you not sure? Are you absolutely disliking it right now? What are your thoughts? What are your predictions for next year? What month? What day? When's it going to release? As I said earlier, I think it's going to be March 2024. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more like this one, make sure you're subscribed. I've mentioned that a couple of times today. If you haven't already, please go and watch my 5 games I'm looking forward to in 2023. That's going to be appearing on the screen now. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Take care.